In the medieval world, fat was not feared, hidden, or avoided. It was eaten daily, cooked into meals, spread on bread, and valued as one of the most important sources of nourishment. Butter, lard, tallow, and animal dripping were common ingredients across Europe, from peasant households to noble kitchens. Yet despite this regular consumption of fat-rich foods, obesity was extremely rare. This raises a powerful question. How could a society that relied so heavily on fat avoid the weight problems that plague the modern world? The answer lies not in a single factor, but in the entire structure of medieval life, where food, movement, climate, and survival were inseparable. To medieval people, fat was fuel. Life in the Middle Ages was physically demanding in ways that are difficult to imagine today. Most of the population worked in agriculture, performing heavy manual labor from dawn until dusk. Fields were plowed by hand or with simple tools. Crops were harvested manually, firewood was carried daily, water was drawn from wells, and long distances were walked regularly. Even non-farmers lived physically intense lives. Blacksmiths, masons, soldiers, carpenters, servants, and traders all relied on constant bodily effort. In such conditions, the human body burned enormous amounts of energy simply to function. Fat, being dense in calories, provided long-lasting strength and endurance, allowing people to work for hours without collapsing from exhaustion. Climate also played a crucial role. Medieval Europe was colder than today, especially during periods like the Little Ice Age. Without central heating, insulated homes, or modern clothing, maintaining body heat was a daily struggle. Fat helped the body generate warmth and resist cold, especially during winter months. Calories were not stored for comfort or appearance. They were burned to stay alive. Any surplus energy was quickly used to fight cold, hunger, and physical strain. The medieval diet itself was fundamentally different from the modern one. While fat was common, food overall was simple and unprocessed. Meals were based on coarse bread made from barley, rye, or oats, along with vegetables like cabbage, onions, turnips, and legumes. Meat was eaten, but often in small quantities, especially among the poor. Dairy products like butter and cheese were valued because they preserved well and provided energy, not because they were indulgent. There were no refined sugars, no sweetened drinks, no packaged snacks, and no constant access to food. Sugar existed, but it was rare, expensive, and mostly used as medicine or a luxury for the elite. Without refined carbohydrates and constant sweetness, the body's metabolism behaved very differently. Another key difference was eating frequency. Medieval people did not snack throughout the day. Most ate one main meal, sometimes two, depending on season and labor demands. Eating was structured and intentional, often following long hours of work. This meant the body regularly entered periods without food, allowing it to use stored energy efficiently rather than continuously storing excess calories. Modern concepts like grazing or eating out of boredom simply did not exist. Religious fasting added another powerful layer of regulation. The medieval church imposed numerous fasting days throughout the year, sometimes eliminating meat, fat, or entire meals. In some regions, nearly a third of the calendar involved dietary restrictions. These fasting periods were not optional and were followed by all social classes. Whether for spiritual reasons or not, these enforced cycles of restriction prevented long-term calorie excess and gave the body regular breaks from rich foods. Equally important was the quality of fat itself. Medieval fats were natural and minimally processed. They came directly from animals, churned butter, or rendered fat with no chemical refinement, no hydrogenation, and no artificial additives. These fats were eaten alongside fiber-rich foods like whole grains and vegetables, slowing digestion and increasing fullness. Food was meant to satisfy hunger, not to stimulate endless appetite. Social attitudes also mattered. Gluttony was considered a moral failing, condemned by both religious teaching and social norms. Overeating was discouraged, especially among the common people. While some nobles did become overweight, this was seen as a sign of excess and indulgence, not health or success. For most medieval people, food was precious, not abundant, and waste was unthinkable. Ultimately, medieval people did not avoid obesity because fat was harmless, but because their entire way of life demanded constant energy use. They lived in a world of movement, scarcity, cold, and physical effort. Fat was burned, not stored. In contrast, modern obesity is not caused by fat alone, but by excess calories combined with inactivity, constant food availability, and highly processed diets. The medieval example reminds us that food cannot be separated from lifestyle. In their world, fat sustained life, powered labor, and kept bodies warm, but it rarely lingered long enough to accumulate. Fat was survival, not excess, and in that difference lies the answer to a mystery that still challenges us today.